Let's move into it. It wasn't a very big week of auctions because, of course, we've got school holidays going on, and a lot of people that choose to market their property work before or after school holidays. Nevertheless, I still had 6 auctions today, and out of the 6, I sold 1 out of 6. Hi to everyone that's come on. Hi to Eric. And the only one that did sell was the last one. So I was 0 out of 5. I was 0 out of 5 till the auction I did this afternoon at 3:30 in Ingham Avenue in 5 Dock. So I must say to you, the first 5 auctions were quite sad in the sense that pretty much the only people that were there were the agents and the vendors. I'm going to say that again. The only people that were at the properties were the vendors and the agents. I pretty much had no one register throughout the day. Now, whether that's because we've had this interest rate rise 3 days ago and the clarity that we've been given that there's going to be another one of the same amount that's going to happen on August the 2nd, and people have turned around and thought to themselves, man, this is getting really scary out there as a buyer, which I think there's definitely some of that. So George says, how did I quickly get back from Byron so quickly? Fly. That's the answer to that. It's only an hour away. So, gang, here's the deal. If the Reserve Bank wanted evidence, because they keep saying in their commentary, we are looking at what our policies of interest rate rises are doing to property. If they really want to look, take it from someone who is there at the front line. Take it from someone who is seeing it right there in the heat of the moment. It has already had an impact. It's had an impact. And if you read the report today that PropTrack have produced for News Corp in the Telegraph, it's actually a fantastic piece of work they've done, where they've looked at every suburb across Australia, and they looked at the growth for the last 12 months, and they looked at what's actually happened in the last 3 months. And there are just some clear, there have been 20% drops in 3 months in certain parts. For instance, the Central Coast is one of those. So, gang, man, all I've got to say to you is the Reserve Bank, please keep your eyes out on real estate. It is having an impact. There is no question about it. It's concerning buyers. We have vendors who have significantly reduced what they were hoping to get. And in addition to that, I've got to tell you, there's a subset or a cohort of buyers, those who purchased between 2000 and late 2019, say, and 2000 and end of 2021, which now have assets that are significantly worth less than what they paid for, right? Now, of course, that's not a problem if you're a normal property person that plays the long game and is not not a Bitcoin in and out type person where they're trying to time the market. But my friends, all I've got to say to you is right now, if you're a vendor and you are thinking of selling your asset, you've got to be a very brave person to hold off not putting it on now, right? You'd want to be putting it on now. You want to be putting it on in the next week or two, right? I don't want to see you putting on your property in September, October, November. And the reason I'm going to say it is that we know that we have our normal seasonal rush of properties that hit the spring market. So when you couple that with most likely at least another 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 interest rate rises, this says to me that, hey, you want to be a buyer this spring, not a seller this spring. And how do you become a buyer this spring? By being a seller this winter. Sell it now. Get on the phone. If you're watching and you're a vendor, get on the front foot. 9 o'clock Monday morning, ring an agent, get them to come over and say, tell me, what can you get for my property right now? And what do you think the property's going to be worth in 3 months' time? It's guesswork, but it'll be a better guess if it's coming from an agent in your core area than having Bob the Butcher, your uncle, telling you what's going to happen in real estate. And we're getting a few of those at the moment. And I'm getting really, really stressed when I see someone who's been no stakeholder in the transaction. They rock up on an auction on a Saturday and they're giving advice to a vendor. And I'll actually tell them straight a lot of the times. Like there was one the other week where it was a great offer. It was only $40,000 short from what the vendor wanted, and I don't think they're ever going to get anywhere near that again. It hasn't sold 1 week later, I can tell you. It's one of the ones that's not going to sell. And there was this person, not even a relative, that said, no, don't sell it. You're being pressured into selling it, right? And this person was confronted and said, listen, can I ask you, what are you going to do if this person never gets this price again? Who's going to live with those consequences? The vendor or you? And there was absolute silence there. I think he wanted to, was very upset, put it that way, because the truth is there's a lot of people that want to give advice but don't want to live with the consequences of that advice. I'm going to say that again. There's a lot of people that want to give advice but they don't want to live with the consequences of that advice. They don't have skin in the game. They're happy to give it lip service. You know the types I'm talking about. So to those that are here that are in real estate that are watching, all I've got to say to you, my friends, is this. Stick to the process. Stick to the process. And the process is to tell the damn truth to the buyer and seller along the way, as that, so they're very, very clear. That's the first thing. The second thing you should be doing is using a two-price strategy. When you're actually looking at properties now, agents, you should actually be telling people, hey, this is what I think they're probably going to get right now, and this is what I think we're going to probably get with 2 or 3 interest rate rises and a lot of stock on the market in spring. So John McGrath was telling me yesterday that 25 economists across Australia were interviewed on their views of what's happening with real estate. These are economists, and all 25 economists, not one difference, all 25 economists turned around and said the same thing, and that is it's going to get worse before it gets better. So daily skincare, says Rob. Nah, I don't use daily skincare, Rob. I just go to Byron Bay. That does the trick. Anyway, my friends, I've got to say to you on other issues, don't stress real estate team. If you know how to have crucial conversations, there's no such thing as a bad market. It's either good for the seller or it's good for the buyer. It's bad for the seller or it's bad for the buyer. If you're a real estate agent that follows a process, that tells the damn truth, that's got great product knowledge, that knows how to negotiate, that understands values in the current marketplace, that is world class in creating competitive pressure with buyers by having an incredible marketing campaign, you've got nothing to worry about because the market's always good.